Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hi, and welcome back to Modern Musings. I'm your hostess today, Cindy Murray, and I am here with my co-hosts, Kristen Blakely and Amber Jones.
Hi.
Hello. I almost called you Amber Hessler. That's bad. Okay. We are, we're heading into winter season pretty soon. And one of the things I like to do every change of seasons is to make a bucket list. And I think we've talked about this before. And I like just having like these little mini goals of things that set the mood for the rest of my whole season. So we're talking like a quarter of the year. I'm not in any rush to complete all of them, but I make this little list. I usually set mine up in my bullet journal, and I do it as a bingo. So 24 items with a free space in the middle, of course. And I pick the ones that I mostly feel like I'm going to be able to accomplish over those 3 months. But sometimes, I'll add a stretch goal on there, basically, something I would really like to get done, but that I might have to push myself to do. And I just try to get as many of them done as I can. And I'll just kind of reference the book, my bullet journal, like once or twice a week, and just look and see if there's anything on there that I could do right now or anything that I've already done that I could cross off. And I do like a little decorative thing because I like to play in my bullet journal. So I make it really decorative and have fun with it. But that's kind of the gist of my bucket list. It's not just a list. It's this kind of challenge to myself to get a few things done, but in a fun way. So I wanted to talk today about what kinds of things somebody might put on their bucket list. And I wanted to see if you guys do anything like that, or have you ever done anything like that? And we can just go from there.
No. I always see you do it, and I'm always interested to do it, but I never sit down and make a like one of those cross off bingo bucket list things. I just never sit down and actually do it.
You know what? What I do is I sit down while I'm editing the podcast because I'm a fidgeter. And I have to have something to fidget, so I usually have something crafty or something to draw or color or paint or something while I'm editing the podcast every week. And so that's one of the ones I like to do is to, while I'm just sitting here listening, because I can mindlessly mark off little boxes in my bullet journal. Mm-hmm. And then I'll come back later and, fill in the items that I have on my bucket list for this one. And what about you, Kristen?
So I think it was the first season of the podcast. It may have been when we were talking about December Daily, and I shared a December bucket list.
Yes.
And I had printed off some in the past that were like fall bucket lists.
Yeah.
That I found on like Pinterest, but I found that a lot of the things on the bucket list didn't really like jive with like where I live.
Yeah.
Like I can't build a snowman here.
Right.
It's just really not,
the chances of having snow is pretty low.
And wearing a sweater, around Christmas time is even less likely. Like maybe in February wearing a sweater, but so like my Christmas bucket list doesn't have to wear a sweater, but
it just gets worse and worse every year.
Yeah. So, I had been stealing them off of the internet, and using other people's bucket lists. And then I kind of got tired of like the stuff on the bucket list just wasn't my thing. So I just started pulling off the stuff that I liked
Uh-huh.
and just making my own.
Right.
I haven't done like a bingo challenge,
Uh-huh.
but one of the other ones that I really enjoyed uh was someone had told me about it, like a photo a day kind of
Oh,
challenge.
yeah.
And so I know it's not a bucket list, but it kind of is in a sense. And I started stealing those off of Pinterest. There's a bunch of those out there, and they would come out with different ones for
Uh-huh.
different holidays or different seasons or different months.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that because it challenged me to take more pictures, and it was like take a picture of this and that. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt, I guess you could say.
Uh-huh.
So
And then
kind of
some
like
of them.
December Daily, right?
No,
Well,
No?
December Daily doesn't really have prompts like that.
it doesn't
But
tell you.
Yeah.
pictures, right?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
but you're just taking pictures
It's
of
just
whatever you're
challenging
doing.
you to take a
I-
picture every
okay.
day.
Yeah.
And like some of them will be like January. It'll be like all things that start with a J.
Oh,
Or, there's so many different lists out there,
okay. Yeah.
But I like to think about my bucket list as like experiences
Right.
and not necessarily like new experiences that I haven't done, but
right. Mine as well.
things
Yeah.
that I like to do all the time.
Right. But you forget. Well, and that's kind of what mine is.
Like
yeah.
just like, oh, I love to always do that because I always hate when fall is over and I go, oh man, I didn't get a pumpkin this year.
Right.
And fall
right.
is over and I never
That's-
got a pumpkin.
That's why mine is the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually got the idea of the bingo from a content person on Insta. I think she's on Instagram. Crystal Idignate. I will. She used to be sometime instructor for December Daily and One Little Word and some of that, and she does a lot of social media stuff, and she had done a summer bucket list, and it was a bingo, summer bucket list bingo, and I thought that's a really cool way to do it because it's not just a list that you're checking off. So that's when I started doing the bingo, and like I said, it's not. I say it's a challenge to myself to do things, but it's not. It's not a task or something I feel like I must do. It's all of those things that I like to do or have always wanted to do, but I forget to do. So I just keep making them and adding different things to them. Well, this year I actually did something a little different in creating my list. I was trying to come up with some different things to put on my list. And I did a little search on the internet and did some things like that. And I decided to compile a list of things that's a permanent list. So I just put it, I made a Excel spreadsheet, and I have one for fall, one for summer, one for winter, one for spring, and they have different things on them. And then that way I actually have some go-tos that I can pull from when I make my bingo. So I have not made my bingo yet for winter because here we are. This is just the 3rd of December. So, I've got a couple of weeks to get it done. But I already have a list of, quite a few, probably, close to 40 items on my list that I could put on there. And I will just go and pick the ones that I think are I'm likely to achieve, and then a couple of, like I said, stretch goals. So I'll just start out with some of the things that are on here, and we can talk about some of the things that y'all would put on your list. But these are some things that we're talking about the months of, mid-December through January and February into mid March. Um, so there's things on here you think, well, why do you have that on the winter? Well, it actually falls in the winter months. So one of them is Galentine's. We've talked about that many, many times, about doing a Galentine's uh, brunch or whatever with our girlfriends. So I usually put that on my bucket list, mainly just as a reminder, hey, this is something you try to do every year now. Let's get it on there. I'll also put for this year, coming up for 2026, watch the Winter Olympics because we will, I believe,
Yeah.
we'll have Winter Olympics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's that's a something that you might not think about putting on your list. I also have Toast the New Year. That's something that's you're talking a quick little thing there, but it's easy to check off. Watch the Super Bowl, Christmas. I'm trying to think. Start some new goals. So that's one's it's not really a stretch goal because I do it every year, but uh, one of them I have on here, eat black eyed peas because we eat black eyed peas every New Year. So I took like all the holidays that fall in that time period and try to fit those in. I have one that's like watch football, watch hockey. And then I have some just kind of fun things that I always tell myself I'm going to do during that season, and I often forget, or maybe I do it and I just don't make a production out of it. But make a pot of stew, drink hot cocoa, snuggle in a blanket, like just sitting on the couch, and the reason that's on there is because I want to be mindful of those things. Even though I do those things, but I want to be mindful of those things when I'm doing them and appreciate them for what they are. Take a nap. Play in the snow. That one's kind of a stretch, but it sometimes happens. Read a book. Binge a TV show. Go to a movie. Host a bonfire. There, those are some of the things. And then I have some things like file the taxes, lose 10 pounds, donate old stuff because, you about that time of year, you start cleaning things out, to make room for your Christmas gifts or whatever. And so I want to donate some things and get rid of them. Have a fire in the fireplace. Random act of kindness. Crochet something, finish a quilt, finish my December daily. So there's quite a few little things on there that that I like to do, and that's that. I mean, I haven't even touched on the whole list here. It's a long list, but like I said, my point was that I made this list. All of those things will not make it onto my bingo.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this list as a starting place, so I'm not having to rack my brain to think of things to put on the list. And I actually have one for spring, summer, and autumn. So, did you have, I know you girls were, when we were talking about it, you had turned to our dear pal chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kristen did it first, and so I was just,
yeah.
I was
You're
like,
feeling a little Chad jelly.
well, no, she did it, and hers was interesting, so I had to do one
Yeah.
for me also.
So tell us about, let's start with Kristen then. Tell us about your list that was curated, very much curated for you,
Mm-hmm.
and what you think of it.
So I actually, sometimes it helps to ask, Chat GPT what you're looking for specifically. So I said, give me a list of fun things and quintessential bucket list to-dos that are appropriate for 40 to 50-year-olds, uh, you know, just for the adults, like, no
kid
kids.
things. Yeah.
Because sometimes like the kid stuff will pop up on the list on
Right,
Pinterest,
right.
And right now, it's mostly just me and Scott, doing one-on-one stuff. And I also told ChatGPT that we live in Texas and it's still kind of warm here because building a snowman's not really like an
It's
option for
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So, and actually I had to build one for fall as well, and I'm about to do spring and summer.
I know. Yeah, right.
So, but for the winter, I got some really fun things that I hadn't thought of, like taking a weekend getaway to a Christmas town, because
There's several
some
of those
little
around
cities
here.
around here that really have
Yeah.
some cute like Hallmark-esque vibes on like their
Yes.
town square and stuff.
Well, and
Um,
there's some like those big holiday display
mhm.
Santa
Mhm.
Wonderland type places too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I actually started asking ChatGTP a little bit more, because it always seems like whenever you ask for winter things, you get a lot of heavy Christmas stuff,
Right.
and I was like, wait a minute, Christmas starts on the 24th, 25th, and winter is December 22nd usually
Yeah.
ish,
So
'21st through
it's
the
only like
23rd,
the first week. Yeah.
right? So I was like, So then I was also asking it for like some non-Christmas stuff. Some of the ones that I liked was a winter picnic, because it's still kind of warm here, and it suggested a thermos of soup, warm blankets, on a sunny Texas park day.
Oh, that
Another
would be
one that
fun
I
because you
thought
could go
of.
watch the ducks or feed the
hmm
ducks, and yeah.
There was one that said like a chili cook-off, and I thought, oh, what about a crock pot swap pop potluck? Oh, wow, that's a
That's
tongue
a
twister.
mouthful right there.
But I was
A
thinking that,
crock pot luck.
yes,
Yes.
where we've done it before with like cookie swap, where you bake cookies, a dozen for
Uh-huh.
each person, and then you swap the cookies and the recipe, and then
Right.
you end up coming home with however many different flavors of cookies.
Right.
Now, this obviously you probably wouldn't want to swap crockpot food,
Well, I
but
don't know. You could do.
you could bring your crock pot and then swap the recipe, and everyone eats the soups in the crock
Right.
pot.
And you could probably take some to, like, if you had some little to go,
Maybe.
like a
Yeah.
little cup to go or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. But I was just thinking that would be so fun as a potluck idea,
Right.
because in the wintertime, the potluck foods are good for like, the cozy comforts.
Right,
And crock
right.
pots really do that. And everyone's always looking for those fun, swappable crockpot recipes.
Mhm.
So I thought, oh, if you're looking for something different to do as far as like a winter party, that would be fun. And one other one that I thought was fun, in the winter time is, we get really like cozy, and we talked about that like hygge vibe, and it said to create a winter reading nook with a cozy blanket, a candle,
Oh.
and a good book.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's kind of fun, just
Yeah, a little hot cup of
revamping
hot
the little
tea.
corner and
Yeah.
treating yourself to like a good smelling candle, and just prepping the area for,
Right. And giving yourself that vibe, which is really good for self-care. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I like that one. And then I also like the one that said bake something new each weekend. And it suggested things like cinnamon rolls, spice cookies, or pecan bars. And I thought that's kind of fun, because when baking is more pleasurable in the wintertime, because it
Yeah.
doesn't heat up the house.
Right. I used to
So,
bake every weekend.
but like
I did.
planning that out. I mean, even if you just wanted to make a bucket list of baked goods.
Right?
That sounded fun to me.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. And then I went further and I asked ChatGTP to give me, I said, now a basic winter must do, things that everyone does, right? And so it gave me more straightforward stuff like wrap presents, wear matching pajamas,
Right.
drink hot chocolate. Sometimes we kind of get out of the cozy season and we don't think about those things until it's too late, and then we're like, oh man, I missed out on hot chocolate this year.
Yeah.
But seeing that makes me think, oh yeah, I need to order some hot chocolate for
Well, I mean, the reason I thought about doing that, like I said, is because one year the whole summer went by, and I realized after they had already closed, I missed.
didn't get a snow
I
cone.
didn't get a snow cone or a shaved ice, and it's something I'd love to do every summer. And I was like, I need to make this list of things. I do.
What was on yours, Amber? I remember that ours were
They were very
significantly different.
Well,
I'm
and you
signed
had
in.
one.
So I'm signed in to ChatGPT. So Chad knows me, and my preferences and things I'm interested in. And it also it had a funny one. It said do a winter movie marathon, and then it recommended Love Actually, The Holiday, and Elf, which have been on my I've already watched those. Yep,
Right.
like multiple times. And then it said Die Hard for Scott with the little wink emoji. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
It cracked me up. But what about you, Amber?
Oh, well, I was just looking through mine, and some of it was pretty spot on, and some of it, like, was just whatever, but I had, like, kind of my own going on before I did this, because there are things that Jason and I like to do
Mm-hmm.
every Christmas as part of our, well, not, well, winter as part of our winter bucket list. I know, every year there's like some kind of Harry Potter experience that
Mm-hmm.
comes around, and
I saw that
there's another
the
one
other day.
coming around
Yeah.
this year, and that's like on the top of my winter list. And every year we've gone to some kind of light show.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we went to Astra Lumina at the Trinity River Park. And the year before that, we went to the Light Park in Arlington.
Okay.
And so I'm sure there's going to be another one somewhere. I've always wanted to go to the Dallas Holiday Parade.
Uh-huh.
I've never been. That's on like my list of things. And I've always wanted to go to the Arboretum during this time because they have a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
And that's like on an ongoing list. And I've always wanted to go to Grapevine and do all of the Grapevine things. I've been to the like ice sculpture thing, but I wouldn't mind going back.
Yeah.
And,
Well, it changes every year.
Yeah. And I've always wanted to go to like the Holiday in the Park at Six Flags. I've never been to that.
I haven't either. Yeah.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
It's so I actually like doing the Six Flags in December. Like the water rides are turned off, or the part that has splash.
Yeah.
For some of those rides, like they don't have those going on, but all the other rides are on. And then there was a couple of things that had snow, like they had like this like slide thing.
Oh, yeah.
With fake snow, but the weather is so much nicer
Oh,
to
yeah.
go in the winter time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
Well, some of the curating, and those are just things like from my own list that weren't even on this Chad list thing. Some of the curating things that they did for me, like cozy vibe type things, was go on a DFW coffee crawl and try all of like try holiday drinks and stuff like that.
Because we know
Or-
Amber loves her coffee.
Go and
Yes.
spend like a day in Bishop Arts, which I love to go and do anyway.
Yeah.
And go to Wild Detectives, which
Yep.
I love to go and do anyway. And you could even like do that with like the coffee type crawl thing,
Right.
because they have a lot of coffee shops down there. And then there was another one, go on a pastry like crawl,
that could be
or a
dangerous.
chocolate crawl. Go to like the different chocolate shops, like Chocolate Secrets, stuff like that. Which you could also do all of that in Bishop Arts, honestly,
Right,
because
right.
they have a bunch of pastry shops. Because Krista and I went there like several months ago, and we spent the day in Bishop Arts doing like a Shakespeare crawl
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
And we went to different coffee shops, and we went to little different restaurants and different shops, and they have a lot of cool things down there to do. And I have never been down there around Christmas, so I bet it's really pretty down there around Christmas. What else? There was one thing that I wanted to do in August, because there was a DFW bookstore crawl, and it was kind of a bucket list type thing like you do, is where you had to like cross it off on your bingo card if you went to each one of these bookstores. And I have the list of bookstores saved, and I was thinking like maybe I could do that on my own. I mean, I wouldn't be winning a prize like the bookstore crawl
Right,
did.
right.
But that would be a lot. It wouldn't be as hot to go out and go to different indie bookstores and do an indie bookstore crawl. Um, Another one would be another thing that's always on my list is see a holiday movie
Uh-huh.
at the theater.
Uh-huh.
Um, I've always wanted to go to the Rooftop Cinema Club in Fort Worth,
Okay.
and that's really fun because it's like on the roof of one of the hotels in downtown Fort Worth, and they play older movies. They don't play like new
Right,
movies.
right.
They play older movies, and it's kind of like a silent disco where you sit in loungers and you listen to the movie on your headphones.
Oh,
And then they
okay.
also have like a little restaurant up there and different things. So I've always wanted to do that. Um, I know like and then like maybe like a winter art theme type thing, like a painting or something, candle making. That would be a lot of fun. And
Ooh.
then like a stargazing trip
Okay. Yeah.
when it's, not too cold.
Right, right. Because the sky is so much clearer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, those are some great.
Even like a stargazing road trip type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Those are some great ideas. So, yeah, I say, I really love the idea of having a bucket list and having to, and y'all are giving me inspiration to add more things to mine.
Right. I
So,
know. I was thinking Amber's bucket list is so funny because mine is like things to do around the house.
stay at home. Yes.
Yeah, and Amber's is like explore.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's how mine always is, even before I made this. And these were only a part of these that I named out were from Chat GPT.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of them were ones that I already had wanted to do. And it kind of gave me an inspiration as I was reading through it. And then I kept thinking, oh, yeah, this. Like the Dallas Holiday Parade wasn't on this list.
Right.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm more like leave the house and go on adventures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
It's good that it probably wouldn't be as effective for me to use it because I don't log into Chat GPT, but it probably would give me a good generic
It give you a
list.
generic list.
Yeah.
Mine gave me like a Texas list.
Well, and I could tell it
and
Texas
then I told
or Dallas.
it specifically move it to Dallas.
Right.
Oh, another one that was so me. It said make a winter playlist and drive around and look at Christmas lights.
Yes.
And that is like a winter tradition
That's the
for
vibe.
me.
I love that. Like,
Uh-huh.
Like that's my vibe.
like I have nothing to do except drive and listen to music and just look. I love
But we
that.
have done that,
But
and we've
that's
like
one of
taken
my
our
favorite
we've
things to
stopped
do in
at
the
like
winter.
Starbucks or something and got a hot coffee or a cocoa.
I love that.
and
In
take
the
it with
go
us.
go
Yeah.
go world of do, I feel like those little things where you're just doing something, but you're not doing like it's a very passive experience.
Yeah.
Jason
But
and I
being in
do
the
that
moment,
a
I
lot.
love
Like
that.
we went on like an adventure a while back to go to the viral Halloween house on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
And we did some research because they never like would publish like the actual address because like this house has like so many lights and stuff like that, and people so many like drive down the street to see it that the city actually fined them because
Oh,
it was
wow.
like messing up traffic on their street.
Oh wow.
But
their
they
neighbors
kept
don't like it.
oh
so-
yeah, and they kept their decorations up.
Oh,
And when
wow.
we went, there were a lot of people there, but it wasn't bad.
Mhm.
But we went on like just like a little like after work. We both got off work one day. We're like, we're gonna go try and find this house.
Uh-huh.
And we had to like dig through stuff to actually find the address because there were a lot of news stories done about the house, but they didn't publish the address.
Right.
And so you had to like go into like the message boards on TikTok and somebody
find
to
it.
post the
Yeah.
address. I eventually found it on Instagram.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But that's neat because it's like even the effort that you put into it was part of the memory and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
experience. And I think that's one of the things that I like to think about the bucket list is creating memories, experiencing the things that I really like with purpose and
Right, right.
actually being in it.
Right. Well, and like I said, it's like being, being in the moment, being mindful about what you're doing at the time you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like my fall bucket list invariably will have spend a rainy day curled up reading.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the whole idea is to stop all the other things that are going on
Exactly.
and just enjoy
What that moment is.
that
Yeah.
enjoy the rain and sitting in that kind of darkened room and reading a book. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's the big thing about it. That's why I have things like snuggle in a blanket or whatever. And I have some things on here like, go ice skating. That one's what I'm going to have to finagle to make happen. And it probably won't even make it onto my list right now because I'm terrified of falling and breaking a hip. But
Yeah, that's why I don't do any ice skating or roller skating anymore on my.
but there's a lot of things there that are just like that. Like I might turn on a hockey game, but I don't like gear myself up to watch a hockey game, and like have all my little snacks and just be all set to cheer on my favorite team or whatever. It's being in that moment, taking a nap, just like setting aside a day out of random, I'm just not going to do anything today. I'm going to go take a nap,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I like doing those things. So,
One of the things that I was thinking, like before we were doing the podcast, um, and I was playing around with Chat GTP, and because last year, yeah, in 2024, I had been doing since I guess we did cultivate what matters. I
right.
was enjoying like those daily and weekly little coloring in the dots
Oh,
for
yeah.
the daily things, and that was in a sense it's kind of like a bucket list. So like for the month you pick like 3 things you were going to try to do every day,
Right.
and then you measure it, right, to track your progress, and it's all in the idea of making that goal happen. But sometimes it's like self-care or fun things,
Right.
right? And I enjoyed coloring in those things, and I got this wild hair to get a bullet journal and then
Uh-huh.
create page after page after page of all these things. I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
someone do it on TikTok, and they had like all of these things that they did every day, and then they colored it in, and then at the end it was like a color dot grid of
Uh-huh.
all the times, the 365 times they did or didn't do
Right.
that whatever thing, like
Right.
read for 30 minutes or more, or go to bed before midnight, those kind of things.
Right.
So I started that, and I got really far into it. I think around April, May is when I start losing momentum on
Uh-huh.
things. And I don't know if it's just because, I'm trying to do a good habit, or something must come up during that time of the year and I get like off my schedule.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
it's
kind
like
of
people going to the
stopped, and
gym.
then I jumped back into it again. And I enjoyed the tracking part of it, but it was like a chore,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel like I was actually like accomplishing much. So come like July, I threw it away. I just threw
Oh,
it in the
wow.
trash. I didn't even save it.
Wow.
And even the only part that I did save was I did a weekly recap at the end.
Uh-huh.
That was like what I ate, what I read, what I watched. I don't know if you remember, I was even writing down every restaurant that we ate at.
Oh, wow.
And it was actually like really eye-opening to see all, because I was including like every time we ate at Whataburger or McDonald's too.
Right.
Or got a drink at Starbucks or Sonic.
Uh-huh.
And it was like the list was getting really long, and I was also putting tally marks every time we went back to certain places. And I was like, after like April, I was like running out of room on the page.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote
Yeah.
really small.
That's when you know you eat out too
when you
much.
know you eat out too much. Yes. And that year, absolutely, because that was the year my dad had passed away. And so, but it was really nice. Like I had some journaling in there, and I did the weekly thing, and I even printed out a photo and put a photo in it too. And so I tore those pages out and kept those because it was kind of like a little weekly recap for several months. But I threw away all the dot things. Well, anyways, what I was getting to in my long story was that I like the gamification idea of it.
Yes.
So gamification is when you turn something into a game. And I think a lot of people now like to get that badge of honor, you know, when they accomplish something.
That's why Duolingo works and things like that.
It's even like, even though it's like, hey, I drank a hot chocolate this winter, I get, you know, a gold star. It sounds silly, but I don't know why. I think it keeps me in the good spirits, even like in the summertime, even because I get kind of like the summertime blues because it's hot and I'm unmotivated to do things. So I like the bucket list all year long.
Right.
But I was thinking this year because I struggle with going from the holidays and December daily, taking lots of pictures and like doing things, and then January is like right? And then you go like, I'll stop, and then it's like time for goals, and then you're like trying to reinvent your life and rediscover yourself in January and February, and you're trying to reestablish routines, trying to eat healthier, and it's like there's like almost nothing fun about January and February except for Valentine's Day and the Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah.
And so, and the fact that it's a little chilly out, it's actually pretty cold outside. So
unless we have snowmageddon.
Right. And so it's almost like
Don't mention that.
it might be fun to turn the winter bucket list into like that photo challenge kind of thing, to take a picture of all of those things.
Right.
Too. Because then you're not limited to just like the 25.
Because you have to stop and notice.
Right. Because it's like 25 squares on a bingo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you count the free space. Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that might be kind of fun to do like a photo challenge.
That would
So
be cool.
I might go and look up some more because it's been a long time since I looked up those photo challenge bucket lists, but I might go look up some winter photo challenge bucket lists.
That'd be fun. That'd be very fun. What about you, Amber? Is that like just too much for your brain to handle while you're doing grad school and
Everything like Kristen was talking about, like all the like making the list of all of the places that she ate out or whatever, and I was just
You were
sitting
like,
there.
wow, that's OCD too much. No.
Well, I mean, like I don't want to know at this point because like leading up to winter, August, September, October, November,
December,
like these are the biggest months of
You're so
the
busy.
year.
Yeah.
I like with grad school and internship, it's like I have 3 jobs and work. And this year it's just been like I hit the ground running. I didn't have a boring summer at all. I was busy all summer.
Yeah.
I didn't get any kind of rest or relaxation.
We didn't even take our summer trip this year.
Yeah. And just like this, ever since this last year grad school started, it has kind of been like that, like where I don't even have time to eat. Like I've eaten more cheese sticks this year than
cheese
like
and crackers. That's mine.
yeah, like
That's my
exactly
go-to.
cheese and like those flat pretzels or whatever. I've eaten more of that this year than I have in my life. And when I'm done with just like grab and go meals, you know, once I graduate from grad school or whatever.
That's so funny, Amber, because you're like, go, 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 and everything that you do, and even in your fun time, it's go, 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 go things.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
like honestly, yeah, on the weekend, I get up and I go to the farmer's market or I get up and I clean house and I don't relax, or I get up and I do grad
Uh-huh.
school, which is mostly grad school, honestly, lately. Go to the gym, the Fort Worth Gym and Mineral Show, go out to eat with the in-laws, go
Go.
podcast, go
Yeah.
everything. It like I don't have a moment where, unless I'm like asleep from like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. to like 6 a.m., 5 a.m., or whatever time I wake up. It's honestly like my feet hit the floor in the morning. I get up, I go to work. As soon as I walk into the building, it's like one thing after another happens. I don't even have time to like sit
Yeah.
at my desk.
And this is why she falls
Sit.
asleep while we're recording podcasts
Yeah,
and
and
watching movies.
well, honestly though,
Shade.
like we tried to do a Twilight movie marathon last night, and I made it through maybe one movie, and
if
then I
if
was
you
dead.
even made it through the whole first movie, I don't
think
know.
I fell asleep during the first movie. Like we were gonna do a girls' night, and we had Raina, and we're gonna do a girls' night and eat chocolate and wear fuzzy pajamas and watch Twilight, and I swear I slept through it. Because like honestly, like that's how it is. Since like I've added that extra layer of
Yeah,
grad school
I
to my
get it.
life,
I
it's
get
like
it.
I'm up until midnight on the
Yeah.
weeknights or
I'm telling
anytime
you.
doing grad school. I sleep for 4 hours. I wake up, and work is so busy this year because I'm like in a different position
Yeah.
and I have different things going on, and I have to do lunch duty twice a week. I don't even get to sit down for lunch.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying I've eaten so many cheese sticks, because that's my lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Protein shake and a cheese stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've lost like 20, 30 pounds. I mean,
Yeah.
but not in a good way.
I feel you. This year, I was, my word is be. And I thought it was going to
Be
be
busy.
I know, right? I thought it was going to be a really active word, like be courageous and be, wild. And it ended up like be calm, be still,
Right.
be here, not be there. And it's so funny. Like, I just have found myself this year, like, you know what? I don't want to go. I don't want to do.
Well,
Everything,
you work just as much as I do.
and
Or
it just
more.
hit me sometime, this year or sometime last year, where I was like, you know what? I want to really slow down and relax. Like,
Right.
I don't want to go out and do a bunch of stuff, or
Well,
like
yeah.
I had fun. Amber and I went and did that Shakespeare in the park thing. That was really fun, and that was like the first time I'd gone out and like done a little wild fun thing since we went and saw like the Rocky Horror Picture Show together, like
Yeah.
6 months prior.
Yeah.
So every 6
Yeah.
months we're gonna do a fun thing, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Last night,
Well, we're due for it, Kristen.
Mhm.
You think on it?
yeah. See, last night we were wandering around in Walmart, and I was like, oh, "This is so relaxing." We had gone out to eat. We were in no hurry because we
Right.
didn't have an agenda
Right.
except to watch movies, and it wasn't like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, we need to be there on time." It was like, "Let's go eat," and then
Watch a movie
let's
whenever.
go wander around Walmart. And at first we were like, we need to hurry up and go look at the pajamas, but it was like, why are we in a hurry? Let's just wander around
Yeah.
and look.
Yeah.
And then we just
It
took
was
our
nice.
time, and it was
nice.
so
Just
nice. I was like,
meandering, looking at earrings.
yeah, we hadn't
looking
done
at
that in
this,
so
We
long.
kept sticking
looking at
more stuff in the
books.
cart, more stuff in the
Uh-huh.
cart.
Yeah, we just took our time, and I was like, this is what I like. I like having like something that I'm doing that wasn't like a thing I had to check off.
Right.
Done
Yeah.
checking off a box of
There's
things.
you're doing something without expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things. Even in doing my bucket list, my bingo list, I'm not having any expectations.
Yeah.
And even though there's like 24 things on there, I'm
Mhm.
not trying to do 24 plus the free square.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to have fun,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully I will get at least one bingo. That's
Yeah.
5 things over 3 months.
Yeah.
Can I do 5 little things over 3 months, And And like I said, it's just doing things without expectations. You're not worried about the outcome. You're just enjoying what you're doing, being present in the moment, all that jazz. And the bucket list just gives you those opportunities. They're creative ways to set up that
Well,
that
gives you an idea
possibility.
like a holiday movie marathon.
right.
There's no expectations to that. You can go to Walmart and get some fuzzy socks and some hot chocolate, and then you don't even have to make a list of movies. You can just scroll through Netflix and be
Right.
like, here's a
Right.
holiday movie, let's
Right.
watch this.
Sometimes I just like sitting and scrolling without actually anticipating or expecting myself to watch something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever just
Oh.
window shop and add the movies
Add
to
them
your
to
watch
your
list?
queue.
I love,
Yes.
but I
Yeah.
love doing that. I love making
do
those like
too.
lists
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
Netflix or whatever,
Mhm.
and it's like Uber Eats as well. I don't ever like. Sometimes I just look and I don't ever order
You
anything.
scroll the menus.
I'm just like, what do they have? Buy one get one free on this today
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever. And I scroll the menus and I'm like, that sounds really good. And most of the time I don't ever order anything, but I'm like, oh, that's a new restaurant that they added. Because like I don't eat a lot, so it's not like I'm gonna order
It's like
stuff.
you're talking about the Netflix thing. Back when Netflix had DVDs, I would go
I
add
spent
things to my
so many
DVD, and I
hours
loved it when
doing
you
it.
picked a DVD. It would make a suggestion of like 3 or 4 more that you might like because you like this,
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just go down this rabbit hole of, add that one to my list, and then it would take me to another. Oh yeah,
Oh,
add
that
that
was
one
so
to my list.
fun too.
I
Like
had
the
this
DVD list.
Yes.
Months and months of DVD lists.
Yes, and I love just sitting there scrolling through. I would just keep doing it until it popped up a page that had nothing on it that I cared about watching, or that I had already seen all the ones that were on it.
I do that with a lot of stuff, like not just Uber Eats or
that
Netflix or
with
whatever.
books
I do
now.
that with like Amazon or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
I do that with Amazon. I do that with like
Add them to our
Audible
gift list
or whatever.
yeah.
Look at like make a list of like
Uh-huh.
books you want to get on Audible or
Yep.
books you want to get on Kindle, or just books.
Those are
anyway,
those
just
are
get 'em.
all valid bucket lists too.
And then songs.
oh yeah.
I like to sit and just like make playlists.
Uh-huh.
Like I did it the other day. I actually like scrolled through my music and I wrote out a playlist in my APN
Oh yeah.
and like kind of like made it in the order that I wanted to do it,
Oh,
and then
that's nice.
add the songs there instead of just scroll
Nice.
through.
Uh-huh.
Like
And
as if
added
you were
the
gonna burn a
songs.
CD.
Well, I did.
Yes, exactly.
I've done that also on Spotify. Every year when I get my one little word, I go through and find a bunch of songs that go with my one little word, and I make a little pod or a little playlist to go with that. So yeah, I do that. I
You
love
were
that.
talking about like with books. I downloaded this book app. Well, I have 2 different book apps. One of them is like a TBR
Uh-huh.
that keeps the books in the list of like ones that I'm going to read next or
Right.
whatever. And then it's also doubles as a book calendar. So whenever I read, I can track
Oh,
what I've read.
What's
Uh-huh.
the name of the app?
It's called Bookamori.
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 Yeah, and
Okay.
so I can go in there and track. I read 5 pages, or I read 5%. Listened. You can do
Right.
audio or whatever, and you can say, "Oh, I read 5% of the book on Kindle," or I listened to 10 minutes or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And you can keep track, and it like puts it on like a little calendar. Like this day
Uh-huh.
you read this much, this day you read this much. And then it also has like a TBR list on there of what you want to read next. And then a wish list. You can
Uh-huh.
do a wish list, different lists pretty
Right.
much. So I do that for like books, like track what I read.
Uh-huh.
And then I started doing this one called LibIb, which is it's like a bookshelf app that I have like the books I have on Kindle that I haven't read on there.
Oh, okay.
And then like or just the ones that I own on Kindle or I downloaded, and then the ones on Audible that I downloaded to keep track, in case like hey, and I see it and I'm like, hey, I want to read this, and I keep track to see like, well, is it already on my Audible?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because sometimes it gets overwhelming,
Oh, yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And so it's like all in one place, so you don't have to switch from Audible to Kindle or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I keep that, and then and then I have a separate section for books that are on my bookshelf.
That's I have similar lists like that.
Mm-hmm.
This same winter, spring, summer bucket list spreadsheet that I made. I also have books, movies, and television series that I stream, and I have them. You know, they're just all listed on there and in what order. And
Yeah, I
it
need to
has
do
it
something
has
for that
what
too.
what app it's streaming on, how many seasons there are, and when I last watched it. So that that helps me keep up with some of those things because there's a lot of those series where it'll go for a little while and they'll have multiple seasons, and then I'll go off and watch something else for a while, and then I can't remember, have I seen the last season of that one? Is that a new season? Is it an old season? And sometimes I don't even know. So I like having that. And then like the movies, they're all listed with a date for the movies, so that because one of the things I want to do, one of my bucket lists I'm getting ready to do, is make a list of movies and watch one for every year that I've since I've been born. So starting in uh, I won't tell you the year I was born, but the year I was born, and then going through till today. And it also has the what series or what service it's streaming on, and or whether I have it on DVD, and then the date that I watched it. And then my books list, it just has the name of the author and the title, the publication date, and the read date. And it is actually separate from my 1001 books that you must read before you die, which we've talked about
Uh
on
huh.
previous
Yeah.
episodes. This one is one that's stuff that's maybe not necessarily on that list, but that might be things I wanted to watch, like or read. Um, so yeah, there's quite a few of them on there. Like I read The Lovely Bones. That was one that I had wanted to read, so it's
Mm-hmm.
on there. Um, and then they're like I said, they're just it's there's a whole bunch of them on there, and I just thought it was kind of cool to get those listed before I. That way, when I'm looking for a book, I can go look there, and you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and it's not necessarily things that other people think you should read. It's like I have the Richard Webster's Write Your Own Magic on there. You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
not on that 1001 books list, but I feel like it's something that I really would like to read. So
I love
that's that.
it. Like anything Richard Webster for
Right.
sure.
Well, and
I'm
I
like
have
a
a lot
huge
of
fan of him.
Brene Brown on there
Uh
and
huh.
stuff like that. So, but I love having those lists because those lists help me just kind of keep track of things. And I've always been a list maker anyway, so it just helps, and it works really well with my bucket list because my bucket list says watch a TV show. Well, I can just go right over here. What TV show do I want to watch? Here's
I
what's
do need to
streaming right
do
there.
that, like a TV show
Uh
bucket
huh.
list tracker thing while we were talking about like making them a list on Netflix.
Right.
I wouldn't mind having like one that's, at least like written down like you
Right.
have,
Well,
just like
I started thinking of lists because there was someone who made a list. She did it at her bujo, and it was super cute. And I can't even remember the name of the girl who did it, but she had this super cute Marvel Universe watch list, and she had these cute little stickers of all the superheroes They were kind
That's
of like
cute.
they were kind of like bobblehead dolls, but they were these little stickers. And she
That's
made all these things. Did you watch all of the Hulk movies? And you just check them all
Mhm.
off or whatever. And so we did at Christmas one year. We did all the Marvel movies, or we did all the DC movies, and so I'm like, that's a really good way to keep track of that stuff. And then like I said, I would start watching a series, a streaming series, and maybe I'll watch 4 seasons and there's nothing else after that. And then I'll just go off and find other things to watch, and I'll come back like a year or two later and it's like, "Oh, wait a minute. Is that a new season on that? Did I watch that season? I don't remember." So, yeah, and it doesn't track that for you. I mean, there's
yeah.
probably some way you could dig and find all those things, but you know, it's just easier to keep your own little analog list or a digital list on a Excel spreadsheet or something. So I think we've pretty much covered this topic of
Yeah,
I mean,
we
like
went
bucket
from like
lists.
bucket list into lists.
I
And
know.
Right. Always
Different
brings us
lists.
back to books.
Yeah,
book
yes, we
list,
do,
movie
always.
list.
So what is our you're the hostess next week, Amber.
Yeah,
so what are we
so
talking
next
about
week,
next week?
we're going off a little list, but we're going to talk about movies next week. And I know we've talked about movies a million times, but we're going to talk about like movies that are the same but different.
Oh.
And they're called twin films.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about those
I was
and
wondering
like
what that
compare and
meant.
contrast. Kind of like a Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Oh yeah.
They came out at the same time, and so
It's
we're
like,
going to kind
did
of go
somebody
through
steal
some
that
twin
idea?
films and kind of be like, well, which one's your favorite?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh. And honestly, that topic has been on our board, because we decided we wanted to talk about it. And every so often I pass by it on the list and I go, twin flames.
Oh yeah.
Because I can't read apparently. And I was like, man, when we get to the end of the year, we've got twin flames. Can't wait to talk. I'm excited about twin films, but
well,
also,
I didn't know what twin films
we
meant.
can talk
so,
about
yeah.
twin flames,
right? But I'm looking forward to talking
Yeah.
about twin films.
That will be good. Yes.
Well,
yes.
I don't know. It's just like a fun, light topic to talk about
Yeah.
movies that are the same but different.
Yeah, well, and there's a lot of them out there, and probably a lot of people don't realize.
No,
Or maybe
no.
they
I think
thought
they
about
get
it.
them mixed up.
Yes, there is that too. So, okay, that'll be interesting. All right. Well, we would like to thank you for listening. If you held out with us this long, you must be crazy, or at least as crazy
Honestly.
as we are. And but we love it, and we're so glad that you're here, and we hope you will continue to listen with us and join us in this conversation. You our listeners are kind of critical to this. There's not a reason for us. Our reason for doing this is because we just like to talk. But the reason we do it as a podcast is because we want to share these conversations with you. And it's hard to sit down in your living room and have this conversation. So we want you to join that conversation by popping in over to our Facebook MMC chat Facebook group and just kind of join that conversation with us. Send us some comments and tell us what you thought about the episode, or branch the topic off into a different direction. If you feel like we missed something, go share that with us. We would love to hear from you. And thank you always for listening. And we will be back next week with twin films, Kristen. Films.
And flames, twin both. We're gonna have twins next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.